Hello, welcome to Just the Dis. My name is Brian, and we talk about Blu-rays here. And I saw that the sales may be kicking up again. I'm going to talk about the Kino Roctober Sale, which looks to be kind of a fun one. And it says it ends Tuesday, October 26th, and there is over 850 titles. And the sale offers free shipping for USA with orders of $50 or more. So, if you're looking for a few extra titles to get you to 50, I've just grabbed a handful here. Some of these I've probably talked about in the past because they are kind of like favorites and stuff. But I'm just going to throw these out here as quickly as I can and maybe there's a few in here you want to grab. So we'll start with Brick, Rian Johnson's very awesome debut film, noir in high school, and with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Just a really, really great movie, really announced Johnson as a filmmaker and is still, I think, a modern classic and just has some crackling dialogue that to this day still hooks me. And it's a brand new 4K restoration. This came out a year or two ago at the most, and audio commentary and deleted scenes and all kinds of nice extras. So this is well worth grabbing. A lot of these are like $10. Maybe not that one in particular, but a lot of them I was noticing are about $10. This one's brand new, and I may have already talked about it or maybe talking about it on the channel soon, but this is already part of the sale, which is exciting. This is Dead Men Don't Wear Plaid. Speaking of noir and taking off on noir, this is one of the great noir parodies of all time with Steve Martin as Detective Rigby Reardon, who's interacting with old clips from older films, with actors like Cary Grant and, Charles Laughton and Alan Ladd. And it's just brilliantly done, very funny, and it was shot by Michael Chapman, who shot like Taxi Driver and stuff. And they did such a great job matching the texture and tone of the black and white so that when you're cutting between an old film scene and a new scene with Steve Martin, it just really lines up in this beautiful way, and I just love it. So no reversible artwork on this one, but a nice slipcase, and also a very nice commentary from filmmaker Alan Arkush and filmmaker historian Daniel Kramer. And they go through the movie and talk about what clips are happening, and they have lots of nice comments about it. So well worth checking out that commentary. Another really nice special edition. I know I've talked about this one on the channel before, but I can't plug it enough because it's a cult favorite, Cabin Boy with Chris Elliott. If you know the story of this one, you know it. It's kind of one of those, he's a fancy lad, spoiled brat of a kid. It's kind of like Captain's Courageous, actually, but done up in this weird mishmash of like Tim Burton meets Captain's Courageous, because it was originally going to be a Tim Burton movie, but then Tim... who got it greenlit by the studio. This is just a rare case where this movie got made because Tim Burton was ready to do it and then bailed at the last minute. And so Chris Elliott and Adam Resnick were left to kind of make the movie. And, it was more something they wanted him to do than they wanted to do themselves. But regardless, it is bizarre and hilarious and unforgettable and just has tons of, features, audio commentary, which is great to hear Elliot and Adam Resnick sort of examine the post-mortem on this movie, which really more or less destroyed their careers for a long time, is fascinating just to hear. And then all kinds of archival interviews and a booklet essay by Nick Pinkerton, who I love, audition tapes, B-roll footage. I mean, it's just fantastic. And there's the reverse artwork. Definitely a must-have. On the more serious thriller horror side, Buried Alive, which is a TV movie by Frank Darabont. Yes, that Frank Darabont. And I want to say it's his first movie, but I could be wrong about that. His first feature, maybe. But yeah, definitely an interesting story about, a noir classic idea. A woman wants her husband is played by Tim Matheson, and Jennifer Jason Leigh is the wife. They've moved to the country. She wants to get out. She's bored. She's met this other dude played by William Atherton that she's involved with. They want to kill the husband. They figure out a way to do it, and things get complicated, as you might guess from that title. And that's all I'm going to tell you about it. But it is a real blast of a movie, and just solid filmmaking from Frank Darabont. Has an audio commentary by entertainment journalist and author Brian Reisman, and an interview with William Atherton, who I'm a big fan of as an actor, but actually really love as an interviewee. Like, he just has a lot of insightful comments. And so this one was, sort of out of the lexicon for a little while, but a very nice Blu-ray of that. Throwback to the 1960s, Burn Witch Burn. This is just a real gem, which was a screenplay by Richard Matheson and Charles Beaumont. And those two are, two just incredible genre fiction literary giants and Twilight Zone writers. And they sort of came up with this idea about a college professor who is a total skeptic when it comes to witchcraft, and suddenly realizes that his wife is a believer and has been casting spells to protect him from some bad forces, which we don't yet understand what they are or what's causing them. And he decides to throw away all her magic charms. And, will things go bad? Hint, hint, they probably will. But yeah, just really, really dig this one. And it's got an interview with star Peter Wingard and audio commentary with Richard Matheson, of all people. So that's great. Really nice disc from Scorpion and Kino. I love this movie. Just a gem. Then I've got a couple classics with Bob Hope and Paulette Goddard. The original Cat and the Canary from 1939 is one of the original horror comedies. This is pre-Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, and it's, an old dark house in the swamp. So it's like Southern Gothic meets old dark house with a weird monstery dude. And it's really good. Just really sets the tone for that kind of horror comedy, and I think is pretty solid. And The Ghostbreakers is another teaming of the same group, a little more haunted house action. I don't like it quite as much as Cat and the Canary, but they're both good, and they're both on sale, and both have audio commentaries by film historian Lee Gambin. Definitely worth your time. I dig both these movies. And if you don't know Bob Hope, I think it's a good introduction to him and his style of comedy, his sort of nebbish style, and he's great. So these are fun if you're looking for black and white horror / comedy for Halloween, for October. Those two are good. Then we have Little Girl Who Lives Down the Lane with Jodie Foster, Martin Sheen, Scott Jacoby. And this one is fascinating. I've been a fan for a long time, directed by Nicholas Gessner. And it's sort of about this weird setup where it's like a East Coast sort of rural community, coastal town, I want to say. Could be wrong about that. But we find this young girl. She's not little, but she's living in a house. And her father is an author, I guess, or something. And, we don't know where he is. Like, he doesn't appear in the movie at the beginning, and something may be happening and we don't know what it is. And we have the landlady, her creep son, played by Martin Sheen, keeps snooping around the house because he thinks she's alone and he's trying to come on to her. Like I said, he's a real creep. Martin Sheen really overdoes it and kills it in this role. But then it just becomes a thing of like, what happened to her dad? Did something happen to her dad? What happens if people find out? And it's sort of this mystery of her trying to protect her space, the house. And then she meets this younger guy played by Scott Jacoby of Bad Ronald fame. And they hit it off and become a team. And yeah, it's very interesting and mysterious and subtly creepy, and great Jodie Foster performance. I love this one. This has an on-camera interview with Martin Sheen and a commentary with the director and a conversation with Sheen and the director. So another Scorpion gem. Some more, I don't know. These are like just art house favorites. I don't know what to call this. This is from the great Richard Lester. And I'm just a fan of this one. This is a big one because it stars John Lennon, but also Michael Crawford, who was, of course, Condor Man. And it says rock legend John Lennon stars in his first film performance in this hilariously surreal collage of battle footage and one-liners lampooning the absurdity of war. And it's set during World War II, and it's fun. It's got that, new wave energy that Richard Lester kind of had at that period, and it is funny, and there's like fourth wall breaking. Like at the beginning, Michael Crawford is standing in a raft addressing the camera, talking about what the movie is and what's going to happen, basically. And it's got an irreverence to it that you don't see in films now. And I like John Lennon in the movie too. So this has just some trailers from hell, from other directed films by Richard Lester, but that one's good. Diary of a Mad Housewife. This is directed by Frank Perry. Stars Carrie Snodgrass, who would go on to become Mrs. Neil Young, which actually submarined her career because she left when she was just getting hot and then came back and couldn't find her way back into the industry. But this is a great performance. She plays like a real put-upon housewife whose husband is horrible. I don't know if he's in advertising or he's a lawyer, played by Richard Benjamin, and he's just awful, just demanding things of her. Why aren't you cleaning the house? How about a roll in the hay? He's just awful, but he plays it really well. And she encounters an author played by Frank Langella and starts an affair with him, and things kind of spin from there. And then the ending of the movie, which I'm not going to reveal, puts a whole spin on everything that you've seen, and I just love that aspect of it. But a great performance by Carrie Snodgrass. Has a commentary by Larry Karaszewski and Howard S. Berger and Steve Mitchell. Karaszewski is the guy who, I think I'd heard of this movie, but he's a big Frank Perry fan, and he got me excited to see it again. And I liked it more the second time I saw it. And Larry's a great proponent of Frank Perry. This one is really interesting. David Holzman's Diary, a film by Jim McBride, starring L.M. Kit Carson. It is like the original, I want to say, you could say it's like the original Spinal Tap, but it's not that. It's like one of the original faux documentaries, Have you ever seen that movie CQ with Jeremy Davies, Roman Coppola's film? There's a bit where he's filming himself talking about the movie he's making and stuff. CQ really needs a nice Blu-ray, by the way. That's a direct rip of this. And this is just about a guy who's got a camera and he's sort of documenting his life and his relationships. And we basically see things are starting to deteriorate in his life, and he just continues to capture it. And it's funny and insightful and, strange. And, it feels like a movie from 1967. Again, it has that certain kind of energy, but I really like it, and it's well done. And it's also got 3 bonus films by the director: My Girlfriend's Wedding, Pictures from Life's Other Side, and My Son's Wedding to My Sister-in-Law. And yeah, I'm just a fan. This is one that came out on Laserdisc from Criterion, so this is a Criterion level movie. And if this hadn't been put out, they probably would have put it out on Blu-ray. This is Criterion level stuff, just all around. Got some comedies and a few more things here. Gotcha with Anthony Edwards and Linda Fiorentino. One of a few assassination game movies. We open on Anthony Edwards playing a paintball assassination game on campus, which was something that was happening in the 1980s. It was popular to have these games where you'd get assigned to go kill somebody, and you would shoot them with a paintball gun or a dart gun, and then you'd take their card. Tag the Assassination Game is also about this, and that also needs a Blu-ray. But then this is one where it starts there, and then it turns into a foreign exchange student trip, and then Anthony Edwards and his buddy get caught up in intrigue with some spies and Linda Fiorentino, and it's from the director of Revenge of the Nerds, Jeff Canoe, and it actually has a really nice commentary from Jeff Canoe, as well as a Brian Reisman commentary as well. But I'm just a fan of this one. It's got a great theme song. Gotcha! Just really fun and underseen these days, I feel like, but a gem. I like it. A 90s gem, but I think of almost as an 80s movie, is Career Opportunities. Written by John Hughes, though he disowned the film. I think this one's fun, just about a loser, slacker dude, played by Frank Whaley, who ends up working at Target. He's living at home, and he ends up spending the night in the Target with this very attractive, popular girl that he knew in high school, played by Jennifer Connelly, who's the rich girl in town, who's kind of a rebel, and they sort of have a fun night of hanging out and getting to know each other. And then there's some robbers and some other darker stuff that happens in this. There's actually some really interesting dark undertones, and the commentary by Eric Childress touches on that stuff, and it also touches on all the songs in the soundtrack, which I think is really great. And I wish more commentaries would do that. Like, this is this song, just as a quick note, because I like cheesy 90s soundtracks. So anyway, well worth getting if you're a fan. And then just a couple more here. Alias, Nick Beale. This is a film noir, thriller, supernatural thing. Joe Dante turned me on to this one. He's a big fan of it. And it stars Thomas Mitchell from It's a Wonderful Life, and Ray Milland, and Audrey Totter, who's just great. Mitchell is like an up-and-coming politician who is in a position to eventually run for governor, and he meets this mysterious man who starts giving him advice, and the advice is helping him, but it's a Faustian tale, and that's all I'm really going to say. You can kind of take from that what you will as to who this mysterious guy is, played by Ray Milland. So it is noir, Faust, supernatural, but it's really cool, and I'm a big fan. This has a nice commentary from film historian Eddie Muller, the czar of noir himself, and it's great. So that's a really solid release. And then lastly, just one that I happen to be a fan of, Between the Lines. This is directed by Joan Micklin Silver, who did, Hester Street and Chilly Scenes of Winter, one of my favorite films of all time. And this is the movie she did before Chilly Scenes. And it's about like a countercultural newspaper in, I think, Boston, and how they're about to be bought out by a big money conglomerate, like corporate kind of thing. And it's just sort of like how they relate to each other, how they're dealing with the potential buyout and their inner relations, how there's romance between some of them. And Jeff Goldblum is in this, and he's great as like this. He's like the rock critic, and he's just very lazy, and it's entitled and just really funny in this movie. And there's just a lot of great actors in this. I'm trying to think. Lindsay Krause, Bruno Kirby, John Hurt. It's just a really enjoyable. Oh, Gwen Wells. I forgot Gwen Wells in this. Good stuff. And just a movie that's underseen. It was on Criterion Channel for a little while. I don't think it is now, but this Blu-ray is really nice and has an interview with Joan Micklin Silver, who recently passed away. So that's kind of nice to have that. And good stuff. So anyway, tried to make this brief, didn't do a good job, but some ideas potentially for your cart if you're looking to get to that $50 mark for free shipping. So thank you for watching, and hopefully this helped in some small way. Okay, bye-bye.